Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The name of today's video is How to Avoid a Relapse When You Get Stressed Out. Now, it's well documented and kind of obvious that stress not only worsens depression, but can actually trigger a depressive episode. And this stress can be many things. It can be a health problem, financial problem, and most importantly, usually the breakup of a relationship or a marriage, some significant relationship. So when stress comes, it's really important that you have coping tools lest the stress push you into a depressive episode. Stress is a part of life. It isn't abnormal, it isn't bad. What's important is how you deal with the stress or how you respond to it. And if you're having trouble responding to ongoing stress, it can lead to another depressive episode, or at least the return of depressive symptoms. Now, I want to take an example or illustration from my own life to show you how to cope with stress, at least in a positive way. At least that's what happened with me. A few months ago, I wanted to save some money on my internet and my TV service, so I switched providers and got something called fiber optic, which is faster and more reliable. Things were going well for the first 2 days, but on the third day, for some reason, my internet and TV and phone all went down. And I said to myself, well, I can spend a few days not watching CNN, but today I was supposed to upload a video and send out a newsletter, and I can't do either. So in sort of a panic, I called up my internet provider. We tried to troubleshoot it over the phone, but to no avail. So I decided to relieve my stress to do the thing that always helps. I hopped on my bike and went for a bike ride. In the middle of the ride, it started to rain heavily. After all, I do live in Portland, Oregon. Now, normally I don't mind riding in the rain because I have waterproof clothes. But on this particular day, I forgot to zip up the pocket where I'd placed my iPhone. And when I was done with the ride, my iPhone was dead due to water damage. So now I had lost my internet service, my TV service, my home phone service, and my iPhone service all in the space of about 10 hours. Now, this may seem trivial, and it probably is, but to me, losing my connection with the world was a big thing, especially since I had clients to call, and as I was expecting calls from clients. So I noticed that my mood started to go into a downward spiral. That night, I slept terribly. Then I woke up feeling anxious, and I said to myself, oh no, anxiety always means a depressive episode is coming. Is this what's going to happen? And then I heard an inner voice say, no, not necessarily. Just use the tools in your depression recovery toolbox. So the first thing I did was to schedule, I had already scheduled an appointment with my therapist. I asked her to move it up a couple of days so I could see her tomorrow. And fortunately, she had a spot open. Then I called up my friend Zanny and said, hey, can we go out for a bike ride? The rain has stopped. Do you have a spot the afternoon? And she said, yes. This is good because, as I've said in other videos, when I get my heart rate up to about 70% of its maximum rate and I'm riding for 60 to 90 minutes, my head becomes clearer, my mood is elevated, and I feel at peace. The next thing I did is, as I was waiting for the bike ride to start, I hopped on the elliptical and worked out for 15 minutes just to get warmed up. And then finally, I called a friend who has always been good at counseling me when I've been down and talked to him on the phone. And he said, Douglas, I can assure you this is a dip. It will clear up in a few days, so just hang tight. The next day, my internet service sent out a technician who fixed the problem. I then took my waterlogged phone to a great electronic service here in Portland called Gadget Fix. They took the phone, worked on it for a few hours, and sure enough, they removed the water, the phone was working again. My life was finally coming back to normal. So what I learned from this experience, well, I want to share that with you, and that is to have 3 or 4 coping strategies already ready, written down before stress comes so you can apply them at the moment that you need them. And I'm going to read a couple of them to you right now that I want to pass on to you. Check to see that your daily exercise regimen has not lapsed. If it has, get back on your schedule. Check to see that your diet and sleep cycles are normal. If not, try to arrange it so they can come back to normal. Make an appointment with your therapist. This is critical. Discuss any significant stressors you may be experiencing, such as domestic conflicts, problems at work, health challenges, or financial worries. And finally, do something nurturing for yourself. Take the day off, spend time in nature, get a loving massage, or hang out with a good friend. If you respond to stress using self-care activities such as these, you won't be caught off guard and become the victim of stressful events. And these events will occur as part of life. Because as the adage goes, stuff happens. Or, as Rosanna Downer used to say on Saturday Night Live, it's always something. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. If you want to give me your feedback, simply leave your comments in the comments section, or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. And during the closing credits, you can learn more. If you click on the image in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, you'll be taken to the subscribe page of this YouTube channel where you can subscribe to it. The lower right image will take you to healingfromdepression.com, and the other images of videos, you can click on them and watch the videos. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you for taking the time to watch.